Hello, and welcome to the Heart of the Matter radio show, hosted by Lorena Jefferson. Author of the book, The Heart of the Matter, Lorena is a lifestyle management coach who is determined to empower the community with the information and resources necessary to build our families and communities. We are global, so listen in every Tuesday at 7 p.m. at talkwatchstudios.com for the Heart of the Matter sessions. We are interactive, and your insights matter. So call us at 813-639-8255 to participate in our discussion. And now, let's get to the heart of the matter.
Do you want to know what it is? The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. What truth? That you are a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind. Unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself. This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Hi, and welcome to the Heart of the Matter. I'm Lorena Jefferson, and I wanted to welcome you guys again. I wanted to welcome you back. I'm here alone today, and I'm alone for a reason. I got some amazing responses from you guys. I wanted to talk to you about it. I wanted to share with you that I really, really appreciate a lot of your comments. I appreciate a lot of the things that you guys are sharing about what you're getting from what we're doing. It's accomplishing a whole lot of different things. But tonight, what I wanted to do was I wanted to have some family time. And when I say family time, it's because family we're close. And not only are we close, but we have to talk about things that are very important to us. And a lot of times, I think, in the last show, what we talked about was effective communication. And effective communication is very important. Victor and I talked about it a lot, and we said we were going to do a series about it. But I was reading some of the comments that I've been receiving back from the show. And they were absolutely amazing. I'm glad a lot of you are getting what you need from it. I'm glad that things are changing for you. That's an awesome thing. And that's what we want to accomplish here at the Heart of the Matter. But one of the things that I wanted to do was I wanted to have this family time because I wanted to talk about some serious things. A few of the comments, they were awesome. They were meant to be compliments, and I do appreciate them as compliments. It's no big deal. But I realized reading them that we needed to get a little deeper about why this show is here. The Heart of the Matter is not entertainment. We're not here for entertainment. We're a show, but we're not here for entertainment. The reason that we are the way we are, coming to you the way that we are, is because we can reach the masses by that. But the Heart of the Matter is a real life entity. It's very important. It's very deep tools that can be used in order to enhance life. And I say that because I had to get to the heart of the matter in a lot of places in my life in order to become who I am today. And the comments that I wanted to talk about were ones such as, you're very strong, you're a very powerful woman, you're so smart, and I want to be like you, and all those type of things. And, as I listened to my heart and my spirit, whereas I saw why people are saying that, I realized that one of the things that I 100% cannot miss is giving you the true heart of the matter. And the heart of the matter is, I'm just like you, and I'm trying to make it day by day just like you. I didn't wake up one day and all of a sudden I had a change of mind or change of heart, or didn't wake up one day and I was strong. It doesn't happen like that. It came from a lot of tragedy. It came from a lot of experience. But in the end, the heart of the matter is simply about what the heart of God is for us. In all that I did and in all that I tried, it was really strange for me because I know that you guys noticed the scriptures on the front, when it first began. And you know that I've never really put scriptures on the front. I've never put scriptures in. And not because I have anything against scriptures, because I don't. One thing I did not want to do, and I'll tell you why I didn't want to do it, is I don't want the show to be something focused on the wrong thing. I don't want us to focus on religion. Religion has its own, entity. It really, actually, religion means bondage, to tell you the truth. And so the truth of the matter and what has helped me and what has guided me has been truth. I almost told them to just shut down the phone lines today because I didn't want any responses such as, oh, yes, God is good and God is this. We know, those of us who serve God, we know that He's good, but this show is not about that. It's about Him delivering His truth to us, that He's always been good. I don't want to make this a religious entity where some people feel left out because of the rules and the regulations of things. But I wanted to be clear that my source of all my victories, that my source of all of my freedom, that all that I have did come from my relationship with God. And I realized that when I was listening to people, say things like, you're so powerful and you're so this. And, I want you guys to understand that there is a source, and the source is God, but God is love, and he's only love, and he's truth, and he's freedom, and he's all those things. I remember, I told you guys about my background, and I told you that, I come from a very dark background. And I remember, everybody has come across churches and things like that. And I remember going to church, and I remember trying to do what I was told to do. I remember trying to be the best I could be, and everything somebody told me to follow, and every rule everybody told me to follow. I tried so hard to do those things. And because I was being told, if you do this, then God will. And if you do this, then God does. And when you do this, God sees you as. And because I did not have the self-control, I didn't even know why I was doing half of what I was doing. And so because of that, what was happening was I was getting more discouraged trying. And so I tried even harder, but I felt more empty. And so I got turned off. I got really turned off, but I didn't know another way. So I would just search and go from place to place. But imagine what I know now, which is God loves me, and his love is limitless. And no matter who I am, he has already paid that price for me. He sent his son to take care of me. And because of that is the only reason that I'm free. I can be weak and be strong. And I can be who I am and be free. And knowing that is what has set me free. Knowing that is giving you the view of who you see. Being able to accept myself as human, but accepting that love is what has set me free where I am. And I'm still on a journey. I'm not any different than anybody else. There is a plan, and this plan is so absolutely amazing, and it's so undercover. It's just amazing, because I realized that this whole idea of right and wrong, good and bad, a lot of that stuff is people stuff. And as long as I was looking for my validity to come from the outside of me, then I could not have any victory, because all I could see was how I wasn't like Susie, how I wasn't like John, how John was strong and how I wasn't strong. And they didn't have my life. They didn't have my journey. They didn't have those things. But when I finally realized that people are not my source and their opinions don't determine who I am, when I finally made those decisions based on what I learned about love alone, it changed my life when I allowed myself to be just loved and not determined my behavior determining my value, because it's not true according to God. And I wanted to share with you guys that, because I would never, ever want you to think that I have something you don't have. I would never want you to think that I have an ability that you don't have. I have the same thing that it takes for you to have your victory, and that is called choice. Choosing to believe the truth. The reason I showed The Matrix, I love The Matrix. I don't know how many of you love The Matrix, but boy, I really love The Matrix. I love The Matrix because when I first saw that show, I just sat there with my mouth hanging open, because it was such a message to me. It was a visual of a beginning and a discovery of self, and how his discovery of self based on his choices, took him on a journey that led to an amazing place. When I was trying to determine the show today, I was trying to think, how do I bring this across? You know, everybody's in a different place. Some people on a slower journey than others, and it's okay, because remember, we're perfect just the way we are. We're all perfect, and we're all loved, you know, but how do I let you know that everything that you see is by the power of God? Everything that you see comes from his strength. I'm still weak. I promise you, in 5 seconds, you see me on the side of the street hooking, don't be surprised. It's the ability to be free. It's the ability to be me and to choose to receive what God has for me is what sets us free. It's not about someone being better than someone else or somebody being stronger. You know, while we were powerless, Christ died for us. And I heard that a million times, but I never understood it. I don't have to be strong. I don't have to be smart. I don't have to be powerful. I don't have to take something and make something else out of it. I simply have to say, you know what? I'm perfect just the way I am. Because whatever I'm not, that love fulfills the difference. And because I'm loved, I don't have to look outside for validation, and I don't need someone to tell me that I'm good, you know, because I understand that in my nature, I'm not. You know, in my nature, I'm everything but that. But because I've chosen the truth, it equalizes me. What is the truth? The truth is the Son of God who I believe 100% has delivered me, because I am delivered. My life is different. I'm not talking out of the side of my head. My life is different because of God. My life is different because of Jesus coming into my life. And I don't ever want any glory other than that. Because, see, the heart of the matter was a gift God gave me, because it came during a time that I was in hell. I didn't even know my way. I had been in church. I had done all these things. I was a counselor myself. I had helped all of these people. At the time that my ex-husband left me, I was in it for 20 years. All of a sudden, the only thing that I found value in, because you guys remember, I don't come from anything. I don't come from a place of stability. I don't come from those things. And so I literally rebuilt and restructured and created my own world, like in the Matrix, where I had a middle-class family with a husband, with 2 cars and a house. And I was married for 20 years, thought I had done something. All of a sudden, here I was, after 20 years. My husband was gone. My children were gone. The only 2 things that I had ever identified as any worth, because I still hadn't dealt with me. So I didn't see any value in me other than what I could do for my children or for my husband. And then there was nothing. And I remember I felt so devastated. And I said to God, screaming to the top of my lungs, I said, if you don't show up, because, see, you're not enough for this. You're not enough for me. I don't understand that God that people keep telling me about. I don't know him. I don't know him. And I need to know him, because he's really the only thing that's going to save me right now. Screaming to the top of my lungs in my bedroom with the door closed and nobody there. With everything I had, I said, if you do not show up, I'm done. And I meant that. Because I had no value. Everything that I thought had value, I had lost it. And because I had no identity other than that, I was devastated. I have another clip I want you guys to look at. And then we're going to talk a little bit more about it. I wanted you to understand that this whole life cycle is going on, not just for me, but for everybody. We're all in the same cycle. We're just on a different path, and we're at different places on the path. But pay attention to this, and then we'll be right back.
we gotta cut the card. You don't pay your bills.
I pay my bills. Swipe it one more time. Nothing wrong with that card.
Randy, go get a debit
Sandy.
card. Sandy?
Yep.
Es un nombre de una mujer. Yo soy Sandy. Ay, mi nombre es Sandy.
I bet that was hurtful, wasn't it?
Hurtful.
Exceeded the credit limit. I used the card for coffee and gas. Florida. Great beyond water sports? Never heard of it. I'm in Colorado. We don't have beaches. You know, we're landlocked.
Patterson, you missed your court date in Florida 3 days ago.
I've never even been to Florida.
Pull a mugshot.
What the hell is this?
If I had to guess, this is the person who stole your identity.
Every day I'm hustling.
Sandy Bigelow. Patterson.
Every day I'm hustling.
What the?
Your receipt.
You know what? Keep the card. It's done.
Look at her. She's like a hobbit. I can handle her. Going after Bilbo.
This is crazy. You don't chase criminals. You're not Batman.
Oh, my neck.
Neck hurts, huh? Why don't we swap information? Sandy, Bigelow, Patterson. Bigelow's such a rare name.
It's a family name. Jeremiah Bigelow was a pretty well-known bear hunter.
Sounds brave. Here's my driver's license with my name, Sandy Bigelow Patterson. Gotcha. Crazy! We're gonna have a little talk.
We can be adults about this.
Yeah, let's. Oh, thank God. You're all right, though, huh?
Yeah, rental car doesn't even have a scratch on it.
Woo! That's great news. Car's fine. What's more important...
Oh, you should put your hazards on.
Hello. I wanted you guys to see that clip. That clip is from The Identity Thief. And the reason I wanted to bring that clip for was because when I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, that's just so how life strips us. You know, from the time that we come into this world, we're being stripped. We're being stripped of our identity. Things are being taken from us. As we go through things and as we experience things, what is happening is a little bit at a time we're being stolen from. Whether it be experience, whether it be bad experiences with parents, whether it be abuse, whether it be neglect, no matter what it is, what is happening is there is a plan to steal your identity because you came to this world totally equipped with everything that you needed. And we all did. But see, we had to learn and we had to grow. And I don't know if you guys remember, but I talked in the second show about our soul. You know, there's mind, there's body, and there's soul. And our soul is where our emotions and our will happens. And our soul is a place where that's where everything is programmed. It's like a computer. You know, so the only thing in our mind is our mind, our will, and our emotions. And so because of that, what happens is as a little child, when you're told you're not going to be anything, when you're told you're not smart, when you start believing lies that people are telling, when you're being abused and you're being mistreated, then all those things are things that's being programmed into you. When you're being told this is right and this is wrong and this is good and this is bad, and it gets in you. And so it's like the hard drive of a computer. All that information is going into you. And so by the time you get up to where you can actually start making judgments and decisions yourself, you're simply going to base them like a computer. A computer can only output what is put into the hard drive of it. And so by the time we get to that realm, our identity has already been defined by someone else. So all that freedom we had, think about babies. Babies run around naked. They don't think anything about it. You know, babies are free. They do all types of things. They don't even think about danger. They're free. So how does a baby go from being like that to being disturbed? How does a baby go from doing that to being on the street or being a molester or being an abuser or whatever? Just being lost. You know, and that's what's happening to us. And we have to understand the dynamic of our journey. And if we can understand the dynamic of our journey, when we look at people and we see people, we will see them as who they really are. Just another person on a journey, just like you. It doesn't even matter who they are, what they're like, what they say. Their value is not based on your opinion because, see, your opinion is coming from your hard drive, what somebody else's opinion was that you decided to adopt. And that's so serious because that's how our identity is stolen from us. Because, see, at first people do it. They do it. And then when you try to go have that success and you can't, remember how the guy was trying to swipe the card and he had all this money on it, but he didn't because the lady was over there swiping his card. And so when he tried to be who he was and use what was his, he wasn't able to access those things because it had been stolen from him. And so that's what people do until we're old enough to steal from ourselves. But by the time that happens, we're programmed so badly that what happens is what we are doing is we're self-sabotaging ourselves. I brought a picture for you guys. I want you to see one of my moments of self-sabotage. And then I'm going to talk about it because it's very important to understand we're all on this journey. I want you guys to know I'm right here with you. The heart of the matter is not about me telling you what to do or me being someone that you can follow. No, we want to learn together. We want to grow together. And I want to share with you because I'm so grateful for what God has done for me. I'm so grateful for how he delivered me from myself. I want you guys to see this picture and then we'll be right back. Hi. I want you guys to, I don't know if you recognize that lady, but that's me. And I was a size 26. What that was that you were looking at, that was a very sad person who didn't know who she was. I was very empty. And at that time, I had a life. I had all these things going on. I had gotten all of this education, but I shared with you guys in the second show that out of the 6 of my sibling group, I'm the only one who hasn't been incarcerated. I'm the only one who is not on some kind of controlled substance, using some type of controlled substance. Well, I want you to remember that everybody's on a different journey. I'm not any different. The reason I'm sharing that with you is because you just saw what my fix was. I tried to kill myself and sabotage myself with food. And although I was trying to hide through the food and I was using the food to try to comfort myself, I almost killed myself with that food. It's no different. It was my choice of drug. It was my choice of fix. It was my hiding place was that body. And I didn't understand so much of why I did what I did. I just felt so out of control because I was so empty. And I didn't know how to talk to anybody about it. I would mention it. I yo-yo dieted. I did all the things again, trying to find the things on the outside that would give me the answer. I asked people what to do. I had seen people do it. I went from a size 20, I think it was a 24 down to a 9, all the way back to a 26. Because I didn't deal with the heart of the matter, why I was doing what I was doing. Why was I turning to that? And what I ended up doing was defeating myself even more. It was no different than going to church and trying to do all of these things that people were telling me was required of me to be acceptable to God, or it was no different. I was all of a sudden, now I'm doing what people are telling me would be acceptable to the world. If I look like this, then I would be accepted. If I did this, then the weight would come off. And although I was able to psych myself up, because remember, I come from hell. I mean, really, I have strength because I have endurance. I was trained. I'm a soldier, so the getting through it wasn't the issue. The staying with it was the issue. And that's, what I want to make a point of that, because, you guys see me, you listen to me, and I'm so grateful that God is using me the way he is, because I'm not here because I'm trying to be somebody. I'm already somebody. Finally, I know that. I don't need all this extra because I believe that I am what God says that I am. But I'm so grateful. And because I'm so grateful, I want everybody to know, because I want everybody to be free. I want everybody to be strong, and I want everybody to have victory. And I want them to have that peace that I have in any moment. And I'm just so grateful for that. I struggle like everybody else. I have doubts like everybody else. I'm just so normal as compared. But I want you to be very, very clear. And this is why we have to get within ourselves, and we have to define ourselves knowing who we are. We have to take back our identity, because the world has stolen it from us. Life tried to steal it from us, but it can't have it, because, see, we have something that the world didn't create. It's a spirit, and inside of us, we're created behind our master. We're in his image. So that's where we find the strength to say no to things that we're weak about. You don't have to be strong. You just have to be able to know that you're not doing it. You have to be able to accept the help from Jesus. When you accept him, he comes and he lives with you. And because he lives with you is the reason you can say no to things that you couldn't say no to. It's not any magic. It's no magic, because I want you guys to be clear. Being victorious in this life is not waking up one day and having a different attitude. And so within yourself, you have the power to do all these things. You don't have the power. There's no deception about it. But you can receive the help that you need to be happy with who you are. That's why you continually hear me say, you're perfect just the way you are. You're perfect just the way you are. We're growing, we're developing, we're babies. Every journey and every experience is perfect for us, because what has happened is you have been specifically designed for your purpose in this world. My purpose in this world is to tell somebody who will tell somebody who will tell somebody. It's not even magic. It's not magic. What I'm doing is I'm simply being grateful and saying, here, I'm a beggar and I found some bread. Let me go show you where the bread is. That's who I am. I am so grateful for all that I've received. And I promise you that the person sitting here right now without God is the same person you saw in that picture. Is the most dangerous person you would ever know in all your life, because you need to think about my programming. You need to think about, I got to be the biggest fool to sit on here. I love God because I have to trust him with everything in me. But I know that by me standing here as a sacrifice, not a sacrifice religiously, me letting you guys see all of me, being vulnerable to you, that's what saves me every day. It's staying away from me. It's forgiving and not looking at what I can receive or what I can get back. That's how our identity gets stolen. Because when you're always looking in, you can't even see what's going on around you. So what's being taken from you, you're not even aware of it until you're stripped all the way down. I didn't wake up one day and I was a size 26. But when I was a size 26, it took away my socialization. It took away my self-esteem. It took away so many things from me. I didn't want to go in public. I didn't want to go places. I couldn't fit in chairs. People look at you. So when you are dealing with needing validation from the outside, when you're dealing with anything that you need from the outside to tell you that you are who you are, you're like a freaking sitting duck, and you will get targeted and you will be destroyed. So all I'm sharing is that you have the ability to take back your identity. The heart of the matter is simply about getting to why we do what we do, where we are, and acknowledging it. It doesn't matter where we are, because where we are has nothing to do with where we're going. It has nothing to do with it. But you're not going there on your own. If you had the answer, then you would be better. Let's just be honest. If you knew so much, then you wouldn't be where you are. If you were such a great person and you had all that you needed, you wouldn't be empty. And you don't have to tell somebody that you're empty. I can promise you that you're empty if you don't have God. You're empty, because there's a space inside of us that needs to live out our destiny. And that's that thing that tells you. We were talking about, Victor and I was talking about it last week. That thing inside that tells you when you run into a certain person, I don't know. But see, because it didn't say this person is bad, this person will do this person do this. What you do is because you want to feel, because you really want to feel, what you do is you say, oh, that's just me being negative. But you have walked around all your life with that truth inside of you that tells you, don't do that. Okay, that would be good to do. That person's not good. This person is. What we've done is we've fallen asleep like the Matrix. That's why I love the Matrix, because there's a million messages in it. We've fallen asleep. We're living a dream world, but in our dream world, we're still not being fulfilled. See, because he was in a dream world, but he still had this thing inside of him that was calling him. And that's what we have. That thing that is calling you is your destiny. It's not something you're going to find outside of you. It's just something you have to open yourself up to, believe in, because you were sent here by God to fulfill a certain void that's on this earth. And so when he saw that there was an issue, there were certain people that needed to be talked to, he allowed you to come into this earth in order to help other people find their way to freedom. We simply need to be saved from ourselves. But the first thing we have to do is change the way that we see life. I have another clip I want you to look at, and I think it's really self-explanatory, but I'll be right back.
Do not try and bend the spoon. That's impossible. Instead, only try to realize the truth.
What truth?
There is no spoon.
There is no spoon?
Then you'll see that it is not the spoon that bends. It is only yourself.
The Oracle will see you now.
Hi. Was that not amazing? I remember looking at that, and I would rewind that and rewind it and rewind it because I was like, how could that be? But it really is. Like, the reality of life is just that. Is, what we see is not what we get. And that's how our identity was stolen in the first place. We went by what we saw. We believed what we heard, but we didn't listen to what was really being said, because everybody had that thing in them that said, you're so much more than this. No matter what they were doing, you're so much more than this. You can do better than this. Those desires that we have, those things that's inside of us that call us, that what we've done is we've gone to sleep because it seems a little too hard, and I remember, I know that we go to sleep. I went to sleep on purpose, not even, even knowing I was asleep, because, when you go through abuse and when you go through neglect and when you're constantly feeling tortured, you kind of make up your own world. So I've been there. I know how that is. But see, in that world, you still have to live. And so what you got to do is you got to find a balance. And when you find a balance, because the world is not real, then nothing seems real. And so every effort that you're making towards a goal will fail because it's not real. But imagine opening yourself up to the possibilities that, okay, I want to be an artist. And I know, but see, this is what happens. In your family, well, who wants to be an artist? Like, artists don't make any money. You know how rare that is? An artist, only one out of what artists ever get wealthy, ever get acknowledged, ever get realized. Well, see, what they don't understand is this. If you were sent to this world to be an artist, you would know it, because art wouldn't just be something to do for you. It would be something that burns inside of you. It would be something that you would do even if you never got $1. That's how much you love it. That's how you know what your passion is. I don't care if it's baking. I don't care if it's sewing. I don't care if it's art. I don't care if it's a farmer. It doesn't matter. But because we allow these outside forces and people's opinion, because remember, their opinion came from their hard drive, their programming, what someone told them. In one of my books, I mentioned that, it's really sad because the greatest artists, the greatest songwriters, the best literature, the most amazing discoveries are lying in the grave with those who were created to give that very gift to the world, because they never answered the call from fear. And fear is a big deal. Fear is a big deal. I have lived most of my life in fear. I remember finally somebody breaking down fear. And fear is, and it would be good for you guys to write this down if you have it, because, I'm always trying to give you tools, but I want you to understand it's important to recognize these things. Don't blow them off, because fear is a false evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. And that's a very important thing, because it only comes when we believe a lie. That's what it means. It's false evidence that appears real. You know that there's something in you calling you to be an artist. That thing burns in you. You can't even help but sketch on everything you see. You can't help but spend all your money on art supplies. But because your mom said you can't come from the ghetto and actually be a recognized artist, you would never be able to do. Or because your aunt said nobody ever does that, our family's never, then what you do is you go in secret and you hide and you sketch. And you sketch and you sketch. And here you are, 80-year-old man, still sketching. Never have shared that passion with the world. It would have changed somebody's life. It would have inspired another kid who has that same closet he's in. and he would have been delivered. He would have been free to live his life differently. He would have had joy, and it would have brought him peace. But when we're so focused on us, when we're so focused on the inside, why me, how me, when, why? That's the worst question. I remember I used to ask that question all the time. But why? But why? But why? And I meant it. Like, I really desperately wanted to know why. And I have a friend named Stephen. And Stephen said to me one night when I was, so totally disturbed. He said, maybe why is not the question. Maybe you need to stop asking why. You know, maybe why is not important. Is it more important to know why, or is it more important to have peace? And I remember that sent me somewhere where I never even thought that that was an option. I never even thought that the need not to know was where my peace was. You know, so when we go through things and we're always, asking in this world, why? Why does that happen to this person? Why did that happen to that person? It's so serious because I pray and I thank God, because I'll be like, God, I'm just so grateful for finally at 45 years old being in a position where I can say, I thank you so much that I don't need to know nothing. Because I spent most of my life in turmoil, trying to figure out things that weren't important for me to have victory, not important for me to have peace or my joy. If I could just accept my now, live in my now, love my now, and allow myself to be loved. And that's the message that God wants for everybody. He just wants you to know he loves you. He has not missed a beat with putting you in position to be loved. He loved you from the beginning. He loved you when you didn't love him. The actual fact of the matter is the only reason those of us who love him is because he loved us first. He's okay with that. So if he's okay with that, why do we beat ourselves down? Because of our programming, being told that God looks at you a certain way because of behavior. Well, see, what he did was he made sure that everything was paid for. That's what that cross was for. That's what that blood was for. It says Jesus took the sins of the world on the cross. And that, as far as I'm concerned, I think I'm still in the world, and I think you might be too. So that means it's all paid. So guess what? The receipt is in his pocket, and I dare any judge to go and try to get it. So the point was so that he would remove us from position of placing obstacles between him and us. All he simply wants you to know is that he has loved you from the beginning and that you're loved. And it's something about it because it set me free to finally know I don't have to perform. There's nothing else I have to do except that love. Allow myself to be loved. It's like being in a relationship. There could be the person who's so deeply in love with you, but because you got all this history from the past, every time he tries to give to you, you're looking for the motive behind it. So you never really let him in. And then when he's gone, then you're empty because you really never let him in the first place. But the little bit that he did and was able to fulfill, you drew him away. You threw him away. Well, see, that's so amazing to me because with God, there's nothing we can do to throw him away. Like there's no limits. We go down, he go down. We come up, he go up. It's a promise. And I can tell you from my life and from my experience, it is 100% true. It is 100% true. So the woman that you see before you, just know that it is only through the power of God that you see me. It's only through the power that he has given me to be able to accept me as perfect in his eyes, that has set me free to live my life, to be able to do what I do for you, to be able to give to you myself. I make myself 100% vulnerable because I don't care what people think anymore. I don't get validated by a person's opinion. There's nothing a person can say to me that is going to make me think anything differently than what I know to be true, because I've been there, done that. I want everyone to have that joy and that peace and that power, because that power is what's inside of you, exuberating through you. It's not about you. It's not about me. It's about the world finally receiving the gift that he meant to give in the first place. It's this alternate teaching and all this extra stuff that's causing us not to be able to be free. You are free. You are free. Those who love God, those who have accepted Jesus, you're free. Live your life. It says the kingdom of God is living a life filled with happiness, peace, and joy in the Holy Spirit. It's living a life. We're already living a life. It says filled with happiness, peace, and joy. It's not something else. I remember thinking the kingdom is outside of us. The kingdom is not. It says the kingdom of God is living a life. We're already living. It's choosing to be happy. It's choosing to have joy. It's choosing your peace in all circumstances because you trust who you believe in. I want you guys to know that this whole thing is really about helping you to find the bread, because I found some of it and I'm looking for more, and I want to help you find it. That's all. I have another clip. We're going to be ending soon, so pay attention because it's so powerful, because this is what we are truly like.
I repeat, we are under attack.
Dodge this. How did you do that?
Do what?
You moved like they do. I've never seen anyone move that fast.
Wasn't fast enough.
Hi. Was that not absolutely phenomenal? See, that's who we really are. See, that's what the world doesn't want you to know. That's the power that we really have. We've been given that. We've been given the agility through our experiences. We've been given the ability through our lives. You know, the things that we've all gone through, they were not breaking us. They were making us. They were creating a soldier that couldn't even be destroyed. And you saw how even when he got niched, it was just a niche, because the promises, if you guys paid attention to the word before that, the promises, although 10,000 may fall around you, he has put angels in charge of those that are his, that not even their foot will hit a stone, that we will trample over serpents and dragons. It doesn't even matter because, see, we already had what we needed inside of us. The whole goal and the point of all these things was that all we had to do was take the time, do the work, put it in, not labor. Take the time and develop. Let these things teach you. Let them give you the experience that you need so that one day you will fully be equipped for your assignment. That's what this is about. That's what the heart of the matter is about. That's why I'm here. You have to understand, I'm simply that same person. You're simply the same as me. We're just mirroring each other, but our goals are not for ourselves. They're not for one person. They're not for one group. They're for nations because, see, all people belong to him, and he only wants all people to know that he loves them. But first, we have to find our identity. First, we have to discover who we are. And we have to figure out what are our skills and what are our abilities and what are our expertises. It's not a mystery. What is it inside of you that burns inside of you that you want to do, that you would do if you never even received $1 to do it? That's what you were sent to this earth for. But you weren't sent just for you. You were sent so you could take that gift and you could give it to the world, and that you could share, that you could show people the freedom and that the ability that God is limitless in his promises. That's what he's trying to do. He wants to deliver his promises. He loves us and he's going to always take care of us. And I just want you guys to know, I appreciate you watching the show. I know that everything is perfect just the way it is. Those who got something from the show, those who didn't, I'm cool with it because, see, I'm simply a vessel just like you. But I appreciate you. I appreciate you logging in. I appreciate you telling people. Don't forget to say if you like the show or not. We're really trying to build this up because this is a message. It's a message of inspiration. We want to empower the nations with the truth of the matter. We are here for you, and we want you to be able to make comments. Make sure that you make comments about the show and what you thought of the show. You guys are amazing. I really appreciate the feedback because it lets us know that you are getting something from it. That's what this whole thing is about. It would be of no purpose to get here every day, to come here every day, and no one being able to be transformed and renewed. This is about renewing our minds. This is about remembering it's not the spoon that bends. Just never forget, we have the capability to do all things through Christ who strengthens us. And that's what you're looking at. You're not looking at any special magic or any person that's so different. You're looking at one that's probably more crazy than you would ever be, more insane than you would ever be, to put her whole life on display. But that's how much I trust my God. That's how much I trust what I'm here for. That's how much I know what my destiny is now. I remember it's such a confidence in knowing what I was created to be, because so many years I was lost and distraught and empty, and I don't have that anymore. I still have so much to work on. I still have so much of myself that needs to die. I still struggle with certain things. I have so many weaknesses. It's ridiculous, but I'm perfect that way because, see, because I'm weak, I can be used. Just know that. It's not about putting on a face. It's not about putting on a mask. It's not about pretending. It's simply about surrender. Surrender and allow yourself to be loved. I thank you so much, you guys, and thank you for joining me on The Heart of the Matter. We love you guys. See you next time.
Heart of the Matter is impacting lives globally. You're invited to tune in with Lorena Jefferson every Tuesday at 7 p.m. here at Talkwad Studios for more tools of empowerment and inspiration. For more information, contact Lorena at prestigewellnesscenter2@yahoo.com or by phone at area code 813-273-8700. Until next time, remember, mystics swim in the same water that psychotics drown in. It's simply a choice of how you see the water.